My fiancée blocked me 1 week before our wedding, said she needed space to think. So I refunded the venue, donated her dress, and moved out. 4 days later, she was at my door crying, asking if we could try again. Hey viewers, real quick. Only 8% of you watching are subscribed, and the channel's kind of stuck right now. If you enjoy these stories, hitting that subscribe button would really help us keep going. Thanks. I'm 27M Tyler, typing this while my ex-fiancée Emma sits in her car outside my new apartment, honking and demanding I talk to her. This happened 8 days ago, and I'm still amazed at how fast you can dismantle an entire life when someone forces your hand. Last Monday morning, I woke up to find myself blocked on everything. Emma's phone, Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn. Complete radio silence from the woman I was supposed to marry in 8 days. I thought it was a mistake at first. Maybe her phone got hacked or something. But then I got a text from her sister Jenna saying Emma needed space to think things through before the wedding and would contact me when she was ready. Space. 8 days before our wedding. With 120 guests confirmed, deposits paid, and my parents flying in from across the country. I called Jenna immediately. She said Emma was just having last-minute doubts and it was normal. I told her that blocking your fiancé 8 days before the wedding isn't normal. It's abandonment. Jenna said Emma just needed a few days to clear her head. I asked where she was staying. Jenna said she couldn't tell me. So Emma had vanished, blocked me everywhere, and was having her sister play messenger. 8 days before our wedding. I sat in our apartment. Technically, both our names were on the lease, but I'd been paying all the rent for the past 6 months since Emma quit her job to focus on wedding planning and tried to process this. Emma and I had been together for 3 years, engaged for 10 months. We'd planned this wedding together, picked out everything together, been excited about it for months. And now she needed space to think 8 days before walking down the aisle. I called my best man Alex. He said if someone blocks you a week before your wedding, that's not cold feet. That's an answer. Alex was right. Emma had given me an answer without having the courage to say it directly. I spent Monday afternoon making the hardest calls of my life. The venue said with less than 2 weeks' notice, I'd forfeit the entire deposit and 75% of the remaining balance. Total loss of about $8,500. Out of $12,000. The caterer was slightly more generous, only 70% loss because they might be able to resell some food orders. Photographer, DJ, florist. Everyone was shocked by the timing, but everyone had ironclad contracts. By Monday evening, I'd lost almost $20,000 canceling a wedding that Emma had decided she didn't want. Tuesday morning, I tackled the guest situation. I created a group email to everyone invited saying due to unforeseen circumstances, the wedding was canceled, and we apologized for any inconvenience with travel arrangements. I hit send without consulting Emma. Her choice to block me meant she'd forfeited her input on wedding decisions. Then I went to her closet. Her wedding dress was hanging there in its garment bag, waiting for Saturday. $2,000 of silk and lace that would never see an altar. I called the local women's shelter. They had a program that helps women who can't afford wedding dresses. I dropped it off that afternoon. I also started boxing up Emma's stuff. Since she'd abandoned the apartment, I figured she was making her living situation permanent wherever she was hiding. Tuesday evening, I called Emma's parents. Her dad was shocked that I'd canceled everything. I explained that Emma had blocked me and disappeared, so I couldn't marry someone who wouldn't even talk to me. He said she was just having pre-wedding nerves. I told him I'd lost $20,000 in cancellation fees, and if Emma was just having nerves, she would have talked to me instead of blocking me and vanishing. He asked about all the guests and family flying in. I said I'd sent a cancellation email that morning. He said this was ridiculous and that Emma loved me. I said if she loved me, she could unblock me and have a conversation. Wednesday morning, I went to the leasing office. Since both names were on the lease, they'd need both parties to agree to modifications. To break the lease entirely, I'd be responsible for 3 months' rent as an early termination fee. I was stuck paying for an apartment Emma had abandoned, just like I was stuck paying for a wedding she'd abandoned. Wednesday evening, my phone rang. Unknown number. It was Emma. She was upset that I'd canceled our wedding. I said I canceled a wedding that the bride had disappeared from. She said she just needed time to think about everything because marriage was a big step. I pointed out we'd been planning this for 10 months and been together 3 years. Time to think was before picking a dress and sending invitations. She said she got scared and just needed a few days. I asked a few days to do what? Figure out if she wanted to marry me? Because if that was still a question, she already had her answer. She said we could postpone the wedding. I asked with what money, since I'd lost $20,000 in cancellation fees. She was shocked at the amount. I explained that when you cancel a wedding 6 days before the date, that's what happens. She asked how I could do that without talking to her. I asked how I could talk to someone who blocked me everywhere. She said she just needed space. I said you don't get to have space from me while expecting me to keep our wedding on hold. I asked where she'd been staying. She said with a friend. I asked what friend. She said it didn't matter. I said it mattered because she'd abandoned our apartment and disappeared. She finally admitted she was staying with her friend Mike. Mike. I'd never heard of any Mike in her friend group. I asked how new this friend was. She said a few months, so she'd been staying with a guy I'd never heard of, who she'd known for months, while abandoning me 8 days before our wedding. She insisted it wasn't what I thought and that Mike was just helping her figure things out. I asked if she was figuring out whether she wanted to marry me. She said yes, she was confused. I told her we were done. She begged me not to do this and said she wanted to marry me. I asked if she wanted to marry me but needed to move in with another guy to figure that out. She said she didn't move in with him, just staying there temporarily. I hung up. Thursday morning, there was pounding on my door at 7 a.m. Emma was standing there in yesterday's clothes, crying. She said she'd made a mistake and was scared and handled it wrong. I said she was scared, so she moved in with another guy. She insisted she didn't move in with him, just staying there. I pointed out she was staying there while engaged to me. She said she loved me and wanted to fix this. I said if she loved me, she would have talked to me instead of disappearing. She offered counseling. I said counseling doesn't fix someone who abandons their fiancé 8 days before the wedding. Then I told her I'd donated her wedding dress yesterday. Her face went white. She was shocked and said that dress cost $2,000. I said our wedding cost $20,000 to cancel, and she created both losses when she blocked me and ran away. She said I had no right. I said I had every right. She abandoned the dress when she abandoned me. She left crying. Update 1, 1 week later. The harassment escalated, but it led to the truth coming out. Thanks for the comments. You guys get it. Emma had been showing up at my apartment building every day since Thursday. Building management started getting complaints from other residents about the crying and door pounding. Friday, I had to call building security. They issued a trespass warning and said if she came back, they could call police. Sunday, Emma's parents showed up. They said I needed to stop this because Emma had been crying for a week. I said I wasn't doing anything to Emma. She was the one showing up uninvited. Her dad said she made a mistake and I couldn't destroy her life over it. I said I didn't destroy her life. She destroyed our relationship when she blocked me and moved in with another guy. Both parents looked shocked. They asked what other guy. I told them about Mike. That Emma had been staying with him while figuring out if she wanted to marry me. Her mom said Emma told them she was staying with her friend Sarah. I said no. She was staying with Mike, a guy she'd known for a few months, who I'd never heard of. I said they could draw their own conclusions about whether Emma was cheating. Monday, Emma showed up at my work. She said she'd explain everything about Mike, and it wasn't what I thought. I said this wasn't appropriate at my workplace. She said Mike was just a friend helping her work through her feelings. I asked if you move in with someone just to talk. She insisted she didn't move in with him. I said she'd been staying at his place for over a week. She said it was temporary. I asked what her relationship with Mike was. She said they were friends. I asked if Mike was just a friend helping with wedding anxiety. Why didn't she tell me about him? Why didn't she tell her parents she was staying with him? She said because she knew I'd react like this. I said I was reacting like someone who doesn't want his fiancée living with other men. She called me jealous and controlling. I said I was being someone who doesn't want to marry a woman who disappears and moves in with strange men when she has doubts. Tuesday, I got my answer about Mike. Alex called and said he'd seen Emma at the mall with some guy, and they weren't acting like just friends. They were holding hands, kissing, looking like a couple. When Emma saw Alex, she looked panicked and ran off with the guy. So Emma hadn't just been staying with Mike, she'd been dating him, while engaged to me. Wednesday, I called Emma and told her Alex saw her with Mike yesterday, holding hands and kissing. After some back and forth, she admitted she had feelings for both of us and was trying to figure out what she wanted, so she was dating Mike while engaged to me. I said she was cheating on me with Mike while planning our wedding. She said she wasn't cheating, she was confused. I said she was kissing another man while engaged to me. That's cheating. She said she was going to choose me and that's why she wanted to fix things. I said that's not how engagement works. You don't shop around for better options while planning a wedding. I asked if Mike had proposed. Would she have come back to me? Silence. I asked again if she would have come back if Mike wanted to marry her. She said that wasn't fair. I said that was exactly what I thought. I hung up and blocked her number. Final update 3 weeks later. The truth came out completely, and the ending was more satisfying than I could have imagined. Last Thursday, Jenna called and said she owed me an apology. She'd found out the truth about Emma and Mike. Emma had been dating him for 4 months, since February, and was planning to call off the wedding to be with him. 4 months. Emma had been cheating on me for a third of our engagement. Jenna said Emma had been telling everyone that I overreacted and canceled the wedding over nothing. But it wasn't nothing, she was cheating. Mike had called Jenna to explain what really happened. According to Mike, Emma told him she was going to break up with me after Christmas, then kept pushing it back. First to Valentine's Day, then after wedding planning was done. Then right before the wedding, Jenna thought Emma was planning to dump me at the altar and use the wedding as her final test to see if she wanted to marry me or be with Mike. I asked why Mike called Jenna. She said because Emma had been lying to him too. She told Mike that we broke up months ago and the wedding was just something she couldn't get out of. When Mike found out I didn't even know about him, he got angry and dumped her. So Emma lost both of us. She moved back in with her parents and was telling everyone she was heartbroken because both her boyfriend and fiancé abandoned her when she needed support. Monday, I got a text from Mike asking to talk. I called him out of curiosity. He apologized and said he had no idea Emma was still engaged to me when they started dating. She told him we broke up after Christmas, but she couldn't cancel the wedding because her parents had paid for everything. I told him we were living together until she blocked me and disappeared. He said Emma told him we were just roommates finishing out a lease. They'd been dating since February, and Emma said we were just roommates. Mike said when Jenna called asking where Emma was staying and mentioned Emma's fiancé was looking for her, that's when he realized I didn't know about him. He confronted Emma, and she admitted she'd been lying to both of us, saying she was trying to figure out her feelings without hurting anyone. Mike told her that wasn't figuring out feelings. That was manipulation. When Emma cried and begged him not to tell me, saying if he really loved her, he'd keep her secret until she could handle things properly, that's when he realized he was dating someone who thought love meant helping her lie and cheat. Tuesday, Emma's mom called to apologize. She said they found out about Mike and the lying, and Emma had been cheating for months. She said they were horrified and embarrassed, and that Emma destroyed something beautiful because she was selfish. She said Emma was depressed and angry, claiming everyone abandoned her when she needed support. Her mom said they knew Emma had abandoned me first, and I handled everything with more class than Emma deserved. Wednesday, I got one final text from Emma saying she knew I hated her, but she wanted me to know she really did love me, just got confused and made terrible choices. I didn't respond. Alex said she was still trying to manipulate me, saying she really loved me, but got confused was just another way of saying she wanted to have her cake and eat it too. Me? I'm doing great. I kept the studio apartment and loved living alone, saving money, focusing on work, rediscovering hobbies I'd neglected. Started dating again last month. Met a woman named Jessica at a friend's barbecue. When I told her about Emma on our third date, she said Emma was planning to test me against another guy at my own wedding. That's not love, that's torture. No drama, no defensiveness, just clear understanding that what Emma did was wrong. The best part about this whole experience? I learned that when someone blocks you and disappears, sometimes the best response is to take them at their word and move on. Emma thought she could have 2 relationships running simultaneously and then choose whichever worked out better. She thought I'd wait around while she figured out her feelings with another man. Instead, I chose myself. I protected my finances, my sanity, and my self-respect. Emma blocked me 8 days before our wedding to explore her options. I took that as her choice and made mine. 3 weeks later, she'd lost both relationships and had to move back in with her parents. Meanwhile, I'm happier than I've been in months. Best blocked contact ever.